Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Welcome to all the new people out there. And I have to say that the one that I put up yesterday, what was it about? It was about cutting out the cities, uh, drove everything to a new level as far as the quality of the comments. Uh, it was just remarkable. If you all haven't read the comments on that one, I suggest you go back there. We have some extremely intelligent and thoughtful people talking about what ought to be done as far as voting blocks and things like that, and cutting out certain elements of our society that are determined to destroy our country. They've been doing it for a long time, and they continue, and they're getting bigger and stronger. And so, anyway, weigh in on that. And my compliments to all of those of you who did comment. Your comments were brilliant for the most part. Uh, Today, okay, we had that idiot, and I know when I use the word idiot, that's a very light description of the kind of almost subhuman monster that would do what happened up in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly. I don't watch the news. I just read it. So if it's Waukesha, I don't know. But up in Wisconsin, the monster that drove through that crowd up there and killed a number of people, hurt many, many more. There's nothing to describe that kind of evil. Um, this is going to be happening more and more. Interestingly enough, okay, now after the Rittenhouse verdict, we all expected for things to start kind of gearing up, right? And we've seen um, demonstrations, mostly peaceful demonstrations, and for the most part they are now. We'll see if that elevates. But we know that they're kind of keeping a tamp down on it now because their guy's in. If their guy wasn't in, we'd see cities burning right now. But now this happens. And it's interesting. The point to keep in mind is that it's interesting that they did not identify this suspect that came up behind those Christmas paraders and drove over them and into dozens of innocent people, including children, killing some, injuring many more. That this kind of monster, they did not immediately identify him. Okay, which made me have a suspicion as to what his identity might end up being, as I'm sure it did some of you, because, well, I won't even get into that. You all know exactly what I mean. Uh, Initial reports, and well, let me back up. First off, what I saw out of the media, as did you, I'm sure, was, well, it either was a white supremacist or it was someone who had been a victim of white supremacy, right? In either case, it was white supremacy that obviously was at the heart of this. It was the genesis of this horrendous attack, uh, and and even a report apparently by a police officer said that described the driver as a white male. Now, usually the information that comes out immediately after something is wrong. You always have to wait and see what the real information is coming about. And but that was the narrative that was being pumped out: white supremacy or guilty of white supremacists. Well, of course, now we know that the suspect, Daryl Brooks, a registered sex offender. How often do we hear that in these cases, right? A Daryl Brooks, a registered sex offender, was a black male. Interesting. Now, I don't know what his motivation was. I haven't read anything to where anybody's made a statement as to what his motivation might have been. I do know what the narrative would have been had it been a person, say a white male, perhaps, right? Okay. There would have been calls all over the place. This is going to be um, this is not going to be promoted as the hate crime that it is, had the racial mix been different, because it doesn't fit the narrative of the left. And as a result, people are not going to understand the relevance of this particular attack. There are going to be more attacks. And I don't know. Is there going to be another car driving through a crowd? I don't know. I can't say that. But there is an undercurrent of hatred that has come out of this Rittenhouse verdict that we're going to see ripple across this country. I think throughout the winter, who knows? I can't see the future any better than you can. But we're going to see that. And it's simply the next step, and it will be blown up. It will be blown up by, all the usual suspects. And it's going to create a very, very dangerous time here for however long until the next thing comes up. Is this a false flag? We don't know. Is this any number of things? We don't know. And it doesn't matter. And, I often say it doesn't matter, and people get upset with me. It doesn't matter because it's the effect that we're going to have to deal with, not the motive. Everybody wants to go back, well, why did they do such and such? It doesn't matter. What matters is they did it. And what we need to think about in the future, and what we need to be thinking about in the future right now, is protecting ourselves. So that's number one. The preparedness spectrum changes daily, but general preparedness covers everything. And one of the main elements of general preparedness is to always be aware. I know that, the tactical phrase is situational awareness. It's nothing more than most of us were taught when we grew up, and that is watch what's going on around you. Be aware of what's going on around you. The person who doesn't watch what's going on around them is simply a victim in waiting. So I fully expect these things are going to, I think we're going to see more of them. I think that this is going to be used to further inflame the racial divide in our country, and it will divide the ignorant, but the ignorant are the dangerous ones. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll say that be prepared. Prepare yourself. Always be prepared to defend yourself in every situation, because it's getting more dangerous. So I'll leave it at that. You all have a great day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and preparing well today means understanding the world around us, how it's changing, and what it means to our general defensive stance. So you all have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.